So, worms are doing really good, actually. I watched Austin after you had pushed all of the soil over to one side and compost on the other. I did that maybe a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, shortly after you did it, and there's still lots of worms over on the more soily side, the more casting side, but there's still a lot of food happening in here too. As soon as I pulled this thing open on the other side, look at those guys. I actually saw and grabbed. There's a mating pair. I was hoping to catch that on video because it's really, it's something you don't see every day, right? So it's really kind of interesting. But the worms are doing really good. When I first opened it, like at the very top, there were worms right up at the top. So it's really hot in my house right now, and so it's creating a lot of moisture in the container. But they seem happy with that. So I put this paper on top the other day when my sister was here, because it will break down and it absorbs some of the moisture. But like this newspaper that I put in a couple weeks ago, like it was dry. We're putting in some coffee grounds just to give them grit, because apparently that's something that they need. They need some grit in their diet. But I throw in like the ends of my beans. I've thrown in some fruit, which I was reluctant to do because of fruit flies. And there are like little, you see those guys? But they stay in the container. I don't open this up except for outside. But there was worms like even on top of this this grass. I put a lot of yard debris in just to try and keep everything from getting too moist, because I don't want them to rot. Like I did put a peach in, and see if there's any worms in there. Not yet, but they will eat this. They do like the sweet. They just have a hard time getting through it. So there's a peach in here, a couple nectarines that weren't all that great. But they kind of have to wait for it to bust open. This is coffee grounds on this side. It's not really castings. I mean, there's castings in here too. But, like, look at these guys down here. I might have actually found... No, those guys are apart. But I'll scoop up a chunk here and just show you, like, they're really doing well. There's a bunch of worms just in this one little scoop of a variety of ages and sizes, and so they seem to be happy. I think it would be interesting to have more, but I know that they are producing, so I know I have more worms than when I started. Beth gave me a container with 50 in it that she had purchased for me as a gift. But they are doing really well. I did find a slug in here too, which is kind of weird, because how would he have gotten in here, right? Like I don't know, but they're really doing well, so it's kind of fun. Be really fun to have these I think it would be really fun to have these, for some anyway, in a classroom, and they could be fed right by apple cores and all that kind of stuff, and crack them open every once in a while to see how they're doing. But I know some schools do that, and some classrooms do that, but wouldn't it be cool to be able to produce some castings to help grow your soil if you had a community garden in your school, or a school garden, which ours does, which is really cool when it's operational. Maybe there'll be more happen after COVID and things go back to see, like all this. So my plan for this soil is to use a little bit as I grow my garlic. because I like to. This year I finally got back to planting garlic, and so that's my plan, is to use a little bit. I've heard like a tablespoon per clove or something. So that's my plan with these guys. And that's it. Maybe I'll grow it bigger. I kind of would like to get a bigger container, but that hasn't happened yet. But it's kind of fun to go through, and if it doesn't, it grosses my mom out, but she'll tolerate it. But anyway, that's that. I might leave them out here in the cool for a little while to dry out and all of that. But that's it for today.